Guys, so it's a beautiful rainy August morning here on my farm in Uganda. Very beautiful morning, and we're doing some work. Yeah, so you can see that someone has dug a channel. You can see it going all the way. Yeah, so that's taking water to the other part of the farm. So we do have our water running up to the tank. You guys might not be able to see it, but we have our tank at the top, that side. And so the water runs through this right here. And you can see our poultry houses here. I mean, it has rained, as you guys can see. It has just been raining. We haven't had rain in a while, so this is certainly very welcome. You can see our 4 poultry houses. I need to build a sick pen for this flock. Yeah. So this flock of ours is about 20 weeks and it just started to lay recently. Guys, I'll tell you something interesting. This flock is about 20 weeks. This flock is 102 weeks. Can you imagine? 102 weeks. And of course, with 102 weeks, that's like way past what most farmers will be keeping on the farm. That's exactly 2 years of being on the farm, because a year is usually 52 weeks. So 102 weeks, well, almost 2 years, because that would be 104 weeks. Almost 2 years of being on the farm, and they're still laying and they're still profitable for me. That's really crazy. It's even hard to believe. I mean, I keep making calculations and I'm like, okay, I need to offlay this flock. I need to offlay this flock. I probably even made a video where I was telling you guys that I'm going to offlay the flock. But now, for example, the price of maize has come down because we've just had a harvest recently. And so just like that, it's even more profitable right now than it was before. I think it's at about, it keeps like fluctuating at around 67, 66, 69% in terms of production. And I talk to a lot of farmers all around the world, and in a lot of countries at even 75% production, your farm would never be profitable. For me, I'm doing 60 something percent and I'm still like properly profitable. In fact, for me to stop being profitable, I would probably have to be below 50% right now with the cost of feed, because the price of soya meal, the price of sunflower, the price of maize bran, all of them have come down. And so, I mean, it just makes perfect sense for me to keep them out, you know, longer. So I'm probably going to keep it for a few more weeks, maybe 4 more weeks, something like that, because I'm going to have a new flock coming in and I'm going to have to utilize this house. But that flock that's coming in actually has a place where it's going to go, yeah? And that place is where we are doing the plumbing for this house for. So let's move there, guys. You can see, you know, the channel that was dug. We put stones over here because delivery trucks have been driving over, and you know, they're delivering some things on the farm. Yeah, so this is the other side of the farm, and I want to show you what's happening. So I don't know if you guys do remember our alfalfa garden. This is our alfalfa garden, and the guys started harvesting. Now it's unfortunate that we started harvesting when it's raining, but you can see the alfalfa. I'll pick it up. Can you guys see it? Yeah, so this is the alfalfa. I mean, I wouldn't say it did like really well. So in some areas, like right here, it did quite okay. Not like perfect, but okay. Then in some areas, as you move towards the middle, it didn't do well at all. Yeah, because I think when they were putting manure in the garden, they didn't scatter it nicely. Yeah, so some areas did rather well. Some areas, for example, these areas did really terribly. Yeah, so if I pick up the plant, you know what we've harvested, you can see, like, you know, the leaves are much smaller, much shorter, something like that. But the guys are harvesting. You can see some guys there. So they are using sickles, I think they're called sickles, something like that, to harvest. Yeah. So we're going to leave it in the garden to wither for a few days. If it wasn't raining, 1 day would be enough. But now it's raining, and as you guys can see, there's clouds all over. So we don't have sunshine. So it's going to take quite a while for it to wither. We're not going to get as much hay as I hope we shall. But what we're going to do is that we're going to place quite an amount of manure inside here. So I'm hoping that our second cutting will be better. Maybe our third cutting or something like that. The guys didn't do the cutting very well because some of the areas, as you can see right here, still have some of the crop. So maybe when we are, you know, picking it up to bale it, we shall cut a little bit more. Yeah, so I'm a bit disappointed with the yield. I mean, in some areas it's okay, but generally it wasn't the best. As you can see, the guys had started bringing manure to put inside here. So you can see, for example, this area has manure. So the guys had said to bring manure. I think that's going to give us a better production next time. So let's hope for that. Yeah, let's give it maybe a few more days for it to wither, maybe 3-4 days. Okay, you guys can see the line that has been dug. This is going to carry the pipe that's going to take the water. Okay, And this is our latrine. So as you guys might know, this other part of the farm is just an extension. Yeah, I didn't have it probably a year back or something like that. It's just an extension, so there's a lot of like building that needs to go on. So this is a new latrine that we just dug up, yeah, for the guys who are going to be sleeping on this side of the farm. So I'll also take you guys closer. Again, there's people who are actually still digging the channel that's going to be taking the water to the new area for plumbing. And here we are, guys. Yeah, so small place but a lot of action going on. Yeah, so I'll just brief you guys and take you guys briefly so you can see the guys digging the channel just leading up to our water tank stand right there. Yeah, so that's about 18 feet or 17 feet, whatever, and that's going to be supplying this poultry house and the next house that will be standing right beside it. Yeah, so we're going to have our second house shall be right there, and it's now August, so maybe November we're going to build a second house, yeah, to expand right there. And then you can see the tank, they are plumbing the tank. Yeah, I think you can see the ball valve right there for the water that will be coming in. So that's the tank. Yeah, it's being supplied from our main tank, which is somewhere up on the hill. Yeah, so plumbing work is going on for the water. And then this is like wood offcuts. Yeah, I'm going to show you guys what these are doing. Yeah, so these are being utilized inside the house. Yeah, so we'll take the ramp quickly. I mean, if you look at the poultry house right now, we use timber as our floor for the poultry house. As you guys can see, this is the upper floor. But with that comes a problem of these spaces. Do you guys see these spaces? Yeah? So, because the timber can't like align perfectly, we have these spaces. So what we do is that we use wood offcuts. Those offcuts that I've shown you guys, you know, while making timber, they usually get off these offcuts. Initially, we were using plywood. The problem with plywood, though, is that it's really weak, yeah? So if you find like a bigger space, for example, this, any weight that goes on the plywood will be broken, yeah? And then you still have like wood shavings leaking through and going under. So what the guys do is, as you can see right here, we get these offcuts and, you know, put them in, as you can see, to cover all these spaces. Again, I'll move to this other side so you guys can see, yeah? So you can see the offcuts. They have been utilized, for example, in this entire area to cover these holes, and that takes away, you know, that problem that we have been having. So after that, we can easily put our wood shavings at the top without any worries. And people always ask me why I don't use concrete, like why I don't put a layer of concrete or anything like that on top of the timber at the top of the house. And the simple reason is that it's not necessary for me. My very first house, I did that, and it comes with a few problems. Number one, you can't put a very thick layer of the concrete on top of that because it will significantly increase the weight of that floor. Yeah, and that, I mean, that weight, because first of all, you're going to have chickens on top. I mean, with this, that will be like 1,200 and something chickens, each one of them weighing 2 kilos. That's over 2,500 kilos, yeah? So that's 2 tons of chickens up there. But in addition to that, you're going to have wood shavings, you're going to have their droppings and everything. So that's going to be so much weight at the top right there, yeah? Too much weight. So, first of all, you would have to put a thin layer of the concrete. But with putting the thin layer of the concrete, also comes the problem that the birds peck, yeah? Birds just love to peck. So they will peck it, and once they peck it, I mean, very soon it will just come out because they love dust. They want to pick out the stones that are in the sand or the concrete. If you're using stone, you know, stone dust, it's called stone dust, something like that. They will slowly peck it out, yeah, and so it just becomes useless. Yeah, that's the second thing. So because in the end the chickens peck it, and also it increases so much on the weight of the house, I'd say not to use it. But I also don't need it because in my poultry houses I keep layers. I don't keep broilers. With layers, if you put just the correct amount of litter, the house doesn't get wet. Yeah. So the biggest worry would be that, you know, the litter would get wet and then it would seep through, or water would seep through. No, all that doesn't get wet, and so the timber can remain dry for a really long time, the entire time, and so we don't need to worry about, you know, it being attacked and things like that. Yeah. So it works perfectly for us because, I mean, it's just beautiful. Yeah, it works perfectly for us. I'll just enter the poultry house again so that you guys can see that we are already preparing to receive our next batch of birds. So we'll go through the door. I mean, quite an amount of water comes from the top right there. Yeah, quite an amount of water. Okay, but we'll just get in right here. This is through our door. You can see our door that was fixed right here, and here we are. Yeah, so inside the poultry house, I'll have to remove my gumboots because they are now muddy. You can see some of the pipes. This is a 40mm pipe, quite big. So I'm going to bring water into this tank because this distance is quite far. We might later need to be tapping water, yeah, to different areas. So I decided to use a bigger pipe so that, you know, it brings me just the correct volume of water. You guys can see the brooder pepper. We already do have our brooder pepper inside here, yeah. So this will be enough literally to fill this entire floor right here for the birds. Okay, so we've already put our wood shavings in here. Someone has actually, you know, the plumber has actually already done the plumbing, so that's connecting these pipes. These are the pipes that the drinkers are going to drop from. Yeah, so we've already connected the pipes. In fact, this place is literally ready to receive birds because in the first few days and weeks, we don't use, you know, the adult big drinkers. We use the small drinkers. So if these are connected, you know, where they, these pipes are connected, then we are quite safe because now we're not worried that, you know, at some point we're going to have to start hammering and things like that. So we are ready. We are literally ready. Again, we can see more pipes, more wood shavings right here. Yeah, a valve right here. So the only thing that we're left with is connecting the water that's going to be coming from the tank outside there. So, I mean, this place is literally ready to receive birds. Maybe placing, you know, our taplings on the side so that we don't have cold air coming in, and then putting our brooding stoves inside there. This is all that is left, but everything else is ready. So we'll move away from this house, leave these guys to get done, and we'll move over to the other work that's happening. So that's a staff house that's being constructed on the farm. Yeah, so we'll quickly move there so you guys can see it. Actually, it's not being constructed, it's almost done. Again, you can see our alfalfa right here. Again, the harvest wasn't the best. Very disappointing, very disappointing. Yeah, well, it had a few factors. The rains that came affected it. Number one, the rains came in, I mean, quite late, so it was planted when it was a bit dry during some spells, but then also the manure in the area. So I'm going to place some manure, but also right now the rains have started. I mean, some of the areas I think that had manure did well. Like you can just look at this entire area and then take a look at that. Do you see that small patch? Yeah, it looks different. It's green, it's thicker, and the grass is much taller. Yeah, if you take a look at it, it's much taller, and most probably it's because randomly manure should have poured in that area. Yeah, so manure plays such a big role. Yeah, you can see that that area is mainly yellow, and then we have a green patch, and then we are back to a yellow area. So we're going to have to place manure. Luckily enough, we have a lot of manure. At first we thought we had placed a lot of manure inside here because we would have a lot of, like, you know, weeds like this growing inside, but clearly it was not enough. So they're going to have to place way more manure, and of course that's going to mean way more weeds. But it's okay. That's not terrible if we get the right harvest. So how do you know that it's the right time to harvest? Because it's flowering. So you guys can see, yeah, it's flowering. So because it's flowering, we have to harvest, but I mean, it's not the best harvest. But for the next one, we'll be having good results. And this is right in front of the house where the guys are going to be sleeping. So this is the house, yeah, the second house where the guys are going to be sleeping, and it's 2 rooms, okay? So the guys are plastering. Yeah, if I can just get in, it's quite dark inside here, so you can see the 2 rooms. Yeah, so they are plastering. They placed inside the window. Yeah, so they are plastering the other side. If we can just move in, okay. Right, so you guys can see. Yeah, so they are plastering the walls inside, just so you know the house can get ready. So very soon we're going to be done. Yeah, very soon we're going to be done. I'll just move to the back and show you guys what else we have right here. We have a dog house. Yeah, so building a dog house right here at the back. So as you guys can see, so this is not like our land, this is someone else's land on the outside. And of course, it's not a good idea to have the dogs facing the people. So what we're going to do is that we're going to plant a hedge right along this so that it will slowly grow. The hedge will slowly grow and completely obstruct this area, so that, you know, while the dogs are in their houses, the place is safe. Yeah, and I mean the dogs are safe from people looking at them and all those kinds of things. So that's why the dogs will be, and this is going to be a bathroom for the guys. Yeah, another bathroom that's being constructed. So yeah, that's the progress, guys. In 9 days, we're going to be bringing in our 5,000-day-old chicks. Currently, our capacity is at 12,000. We're going to bring in 5,000 and temporarily it will go up to 17,000. And when we bring in the new flock, it's going to go to up to 17,000. And then after that, we'll get off 2,500. And so it will now come down to, 14,500. Yeah, so 14,500. Previously, I've been bringing my birds in batches of 2,500. But now I'm going to be bringing them in batches of 5,000. Isn't it crazy? Because when I started out, my very first flock of birds was 800 chickens. I paid for 750, but I got 800. And then after that, the next batch was 1,000. Then the next one was also 1,000. Then 2,000. Then 2,500. And now here I am bringing 5,000. It's a crazy world. It's a crazy, beautiful world. Crazy, beautiful world. Yeah. So I'm loving, the growth and the movement that's happening on the farm. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. Yeah. We're going to be expanding more. And I love this. I love this so much. So this area where I expanded the farm into, I can build houses to fill up 20,000 chickens in deep litter. In fact, even up to 30,000. But I'm only going to utilize it for 20,000 for now. In fact, for now, I'll only put, 4 houses for 10,000. I want to keep this grassy area with the alfalfa. So I'll put their alfalfa slowly and, leave it there because I do have goats. And once I've figured out where else I can plant alfalfa in the future, I'll be able to move there in the future. Yeah. But this is beautiful. This is big. This is nice. I'm loving farming. Yeah. And tell me if you love farming. I do. I'm really enjoying it. I mean, it's been beautiful to me. Why wouldn't I enjoy it? Leave your questions or anything in the comment section. I would love to know your thoughts on this. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, smash the notification bell, and if you're someone who wants to know and understand the steps of what it takes for someone to actually start and grow a profitable poultry farm, just like me right here, who started with just 800 birds, and now I'm moving on to what? 17,000 birds. I've left a video in the description of this, video. Go check it out. It will give you a stepwise process of how you can start and grow a successful poultry farm. Lots of love. Bye-bye.